Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's J-Man. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm J-Man, and it's just me by myself in my kitchen. And I want to talk about Tom Emmer and the controversy that he recently got himself into by saying that people from other countries that move to the United States need to assimilate.
That is correct.
The comment that's getting him in trouble, or at least some people are pissed about, was made at a Faith and Freedom Coalition event recently. And what he stated was that he believes immigrants must assimilate to be American, and those that do not should, quote, go the hell back to where they came from. The larger entire quote is him saying that you need to embrace American culture first instead of just your own and not try to learn English and obey our laws and our customs. So he said, quote, celebrate your culture. I don't care. Italian, Polish, Somali, okay? But they don't assimilate. And if they don't assimilate, then they should go the hell back to where they came from, which people were like, oh my God. And then he addressed the criticism to that, saying Minnesotans are so afraid that you're going to call us racist. You're going to call us an Islamophobe. You know what? I'm done being careful. And I get where he's coming from, because at a certain point, you get sick of having to tap dance around your opinions because you're afraid that someone will use labeling or, sticking a term of negative connotation on you in the middle of an argument or a debate or conversation because they don't want to sit there and have to wade through the facts. So what they do is they say something horrible, hoping you'll shut up and you won't say this thing that is completely dissonant to the bullshit they already have in their fucking head. And to those people, I say, eat a dick. Or several. Because in this instance, as much as the left and the Democrats and the wokesters want to try to avoid the common knowledge now of how much fraud is going on, not just in Minnesota or Maine, but also California and Ohio and other states, it's happening on a grand scale, and it's a cultural phenomenon, and it's mostly the Somalis. You can say it's not, but fuck you. They just keep finding more and more Somalis that are committing all these various forms of crime. I can't even remember off the top of my head how many different forms of fraud there are now to keep track of. And he's simply saying that these Somalis come here, and they don't want to learn English because what you'll get in professional settings, and I can attest to this, and so can my girlfriend, that you will talk to the kids more than the parents because generationally, the parents speak primarily their native tongue and the kids go to school, so they have to learn English, so they'll speak for the parents or work as a translator. And it's like, if you come to this country, I don't care where in the world you immigrate from, English is our primary language. I'm not telling you should abandon your own cultural norms and practices, but if you're going to move to an entirely different country that does not share those systems of faith, of worship, of gender roles, and your ability to beat the fuck out of your wife at your leisure or have multiple spouses because your, air quotes, religion allows it, we don't do that shit here. Bigamy and polygamy, not fucking allowed. Spousal abuse, domestic violence, not allowed. We are not a patriarchal society. We do not assess roles that women are lesser than men in general, the way you see it in most Muslim countries. And the Somalis that come here and they don't want to abide by our rules and they think, fuck America. And they talk all this shit about living in the United States and how much they hate Americans. Well, then get the fuck out, honestly, because I got to tell you, it's frustrating enough when you deal with people that have thick accents because they have not gone and done any sort of English as a second language proficiency courses to try to get rid of some of their accent. And you try to communicate with them, especially in a professional setting. And you're trying to understand what they say. And you keep having to apologize like, I'm sorry, one more time. I'm not trying to be rude. I literally cannot, with your thick accent, understand what it is you're trying to tell me. Sometimes they get offended, and sometimes you can hear the tone in their voice. They're exhausted with having to do this with people, but they just fucking acquiesce, and good on them for doing so. But if you move here, we have our laws, and we have our expectations, and our cultural norms, and our taboos. And if you eat dogs and cats where you come from, well, you're not doing that shit here legally. And if you get to beat the fuck out of your wife in Who Gives a Fuckistan, or wherever you came here from, Durka Durka land, you're not going to get away with that shit here. And if you want to pray 5 times a day, cool, do it. Do it in a mosque. Do it in your home. Do it in a, quote, prayer closet or whatever the fuck. But don't get out of your car and get on the fucking street and throw a goddamn prayer rug down and block traffic to demonstrate. Because that shit happens. And they're not doing it because they need to pray, and we have to let them do that here. We don't need to be sensitive to that shit. That's a show of force. That's what the Muslims are doing here, migrating en masse, hoping that they can push Islam onto the American people. You get the Somalis that get upset when the media and law enforcement agencies talk about crime in their community. They're like, you need to come to us first. You need to let us handle it. No, we fucking don't. You don't have your own system of government within your culture that is a subset of our government. You answer to the laws of our land. You live on American soil. So if you want the protections of being an American citizen with all the rights and the amendments that grant you all these civil liberties and such, then you better fucking play ball. And if we tell you you need to learn English, fucking learn English. It is absurd to me that there are people that don't speak English at all and that they can go and they can take foreign language guided tests at DMVs to get driver's license. How the fuck are you reading our signs then? How do you know? Like maybe you can figure out numbers on speed limit signs, but all these traffic signs and all these detour and construction signs and the fucking LED billboards on bridges that MnDOT put up, how are you reading that shit? It's the same thing in every state. There's going to be some sort of civil infrastructure that is primarily only in English, and if you can't read it, why the fuck are you here? If you don't want to fully embrace American culture and our way of life, why the fuck did you come here? Because where you came from sucked? Because it was shitty there? Because there wasn't food and jobs, and I hate to say this, a bountiful welfare safety net that you can fucking rape and rob blind? Yeah, great. Good for you. Fuck off. Consider this. It is viewed as rude to move abroad and then demand that people around you speak to you in English. So how is it rude for people that move to America and our primary language is English for us to say you need to learn English? We're not trying to erase the culture you already have. We want you to fit in, and honestly, it's a matter of trust. If I'm anywhere and I see a group of individuals of any other ethnicity and they're speaking in a language that I don't know and then they're looking at me, my fucking spider sense is tingling that maybe this isn't a safe place for me to be right now and I don't know what's going on. And you can sit there and say, oh, you're just being paranoid. Look at the fucking crime statistics. Do we live in a safe society? Well, compared to Mexico and the fucking Middle East, sure. But there's still shootings, stabbings, robberies, carjackings, rape, all kinds of shit that happens. And it's not just like white people doing it, walking up in the middle of the day like, hello, I'm John Williams, and I'm going to forcibly insert my penis into your vagina. Or, hey, my name is Tom Smith, and I need your wallet, bitch. Give it to me. That's not going to fucking happen. You move to Germany or France or Italy or the UK, at a certain point in the tourist-centric areas, there will always be signage in English. But everywhere else, you're not going to be going around demanding that people speak the language that only you know, and they might not. That they don't need to adapt to you. Do you have any idea how fucking arrogant it is to move to a country that you're not from and expect them to not only respect everything that you believe in from where you came from, but forcibly adapt their own lives to give you what you're used to so that you don't have to feel a modicum of discomfort? That is brazen and that is dickish. And I couldn't imagine doing that shit. That's why I probably couldn't live in most other countries, because I can't learn other languages. I'm not going to fucking do it. I try to learn small bits of Spanish so I can communicate with people that are Hispanic, but honestly, I'm not that great at it. I only hablo poquito español, and I'm not even sure I said that right, but I try. But the point here is think about when America first started to boom. When people were moving to America, you came through Ellis Island, mostly, and then they possibly changed your name to shorten it, to Anglicanize it, or make it more pronounceable. People changed parts of who they were and how they presented themselves to fit in so they would be accepted. If you move somewhere else, you should want to be accepted, not be like, well, fuck them for not taking me as I am. How insensitive of them. That is bullshit. You are an ego freak. Go fuck yourself. All these different neighborhoods that you might have seen around New York. There was the Italian neighborhood. There was the Irish neighborhood. The Russians. Everybody kind of kept to themselves for a sense of nationalized homogeny. For safety's sake. That I understand. But then they all started working around each other, and they all had to learn English. And they made it a priority to adapt to this melting pot mentality so they could become Americans. Woo! It's a fucking privilege to be here. And then to come here and shit all over everything about America and be like, no, I come from Muslim country and I'm going to make everything about my life here Muslim. We're going to build our own miniature caliphate in a neighborhood. We're going to live in an epic city. It's going to be walls around it. It's going to be no-go zone for anyone who is not a believer in Islam. None of the infidels will be allowed in, and everything will be halal for food, and nothing haram will be allowed. No liquor stores. Women will all wear the burqas and the headscarves, and no one will be allowed to do anything or practice anything that is not pro-Islam or anything that is not allowed by Islam. To say you're going to have your own city in a city is fucking bullshit. The city of Lino Lakes, the citizens there, shut that shit down. But like Epic City in Texas, I can't even believe this is going on, but they're building an entire city that's just supposed to be for Muslims where they can all have their own area. But they don't want police, and they don't want the government involvement from the local city council and such. Well, to that I say, then you don't need the water and the sewer and the electric. Why don't you figure out your own means of production of all of those resources, since you don't want to be a part of something, you just want to exist inside of it. So again, go back to that melting pot mentality. Grandparents. Most of us that are in our 30s and 40s, our grandparents were first-generation immigrants or first-generation born here because their parents migrated to America. Those people, they learned English.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
My blood, my dad's parents. His dad was Norwegian, his mom was Swedish. My mom's parents. Her dad was Croatian, her mom was Italian. All four of my grandparents were full-blooded, whatever they were. And their families came here, and they learned English, and they got jobs. They came to the Midwest. They assimilated. They still had their traditions. They still had their names. But then they met each other. And then my dad is Norwegian and Swedish. My mom is Croatian and Italian. I'm all four of those things. My kids are fucking mutts because as the generations go on, the gene pool is diluted in the purity of the blood. But I could never imagine thinking to myself, you know, I'm 50% Scandinavian. I'm going to embrace only that, and everybody around me needs to acknowledge that about me and speak to me in either Norwegian or Swedish. Or vice versa, you know, Croatian or Italian. I can learn those languages. I can embrace that culture, but I'm American first. So like Little Miss Band-Aid Head Bananas and Rice, with her low IQ and bad speaking skills and not great tooth-to-gum ratio, being Somali and being American is like bananas and rice, right? You're not Somali and American. If you are Somali and you're born here, you're American with Somali blood. You're an American first. It doesn't mean you're letting go of everything that your ancestors did and said and knew and thought and believed in. But God damn it, if you're going to live amongst everybody else and we're all going to live amongst each other, then it stands to reason that you need to go, okay, look at me. Look at me. I am the American now. See what I did there? But they don't do that. They don't do that. And it drives me up a fucking wall that they want to have this almost secret society within our society. And nobody's solved the mystery of where all the Somali old people are and why they never get calls for, you know, dead grandparents at home in Cedar Riverside. Whatever's going on, it's being done in secret, and we don't fucking know. And all this fraud that was going on in the Kenyan migrant camps and the asylum seeker camps, they talked about how you could come to Minnesota and get fucking welfare money up the yin-yang. And people come here, not just to the United States, but to Minnesota specifically because of our robust welfare safety net. And I'm fucking sick of it. People like me spend our whole lives buying into the meritocracy and capitalism, busting our asses to squirrel away money and paying our taxes like we should, only for you fucking ingrate pieces of shit to come here and try to rob us blind so you can all drive fucking fancy foreign cars and live for free off the taxpayer dime. I don't care if you're Somali. I do care if you fucking rip off the government, because I had a mentally disabled sister, and the money that you're taking for your air quotes autistic kid that your Somali cousin doctor declared him with so that you get money from the state to sit on your fucking lazy light bulb shaped headed heaven ass all goddamn day in your fucking new house in some neighborhood where you don't talk to anybody and you just stare at all the white women that wear tank tops evilly because they don't follow Islam and they're showing too much skin, and you want to throw acid in their face but also fuck them to death. It's a crazy thing. And I'm sick of them, and I don't care. You fucking call me Islamophobic. Does not hurt my feelings. I don't believe it's a religion. I think it's more of a cult. If that means you don't want to be my friend anymore, go fuck yourself, woke-tard. I don't care. There is no national religion mentality going on in my house. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't owe any allegiance to that religion. But you're not going to come here with a takeover mindset and be like, we come here from Middle East and we want everyone to become Muslim. And if you don't become Muslim, you're an infidel. We may declare jihad against you. Yeah, maybe I'm seeing shit on social media that people are trying to push to create this sense of paranoia in me, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, and I don't fucking trust Muslims, and I don't fucking trust Somalis, and I don't fucking trust anybody that comes here and says they want to be American, and they don't follow the laws, and they keep their documents hidden, and you don't know what their identity is, and they don't speak English. It's very simple. Assimilate. If you want us to embrace you, you have to assimilate. You have to be vulnerable and accept our society and norms and laws and cultural taboos, or nobody needs to be sensitive to you because you're basically pissing on our shoes and telling us it's raining. Call me xenophobic, call me racist. It doesn't mean that I am. They're just fucking words that you use. They're labels that people will slap on you to try to shut you up, and I'm sick of fucking sitting here being worried about what people think of me. The content of my character is not defined by your opinion of me. And frankly, I don't give a fuck about pleasing you and meeting your expectations of who I need to be. Your feelings don't matter. Your tactics won't work. I was born on American soil, and I'm not intimidated by your bullshit woke political tactics. America first. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm J-Man. And that's the end.